So it's January 2nd. I'm out on the lake at my mother-in-law's place in Oka. Just doing some snowshoeing. Family's still in the house. Just taking some solo time. Take a little walk. I haven't done a vlog in weeks. I've sort of rejigged my job situation to give me a little more time, A, with the family, and B, with you guys. So I'm hoping that for this upcoming year, things will be a lot better on the video making front. It's hot as hell out here. Yesterday was like -7. Today, maybe -1. I don't know. I'm stinking hot and all this stuff. I'm not afraid of the lake breaking under me or anything. It's not, you know, it's not +2 or anything like that. Evidently, I'm not alone out here. But anyways, I thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about guilty pleasures. Because I sometimes feel that, a chunk of ice there I just walked across. I sometimes feel that people's guilty pleasures are the most interesting thing about them, you know? The things you like to do that you kind of don't like admitting to. For some people that's something filthy, for others it's not. I don't have any really interesting dirty guilty pleasures, but I do have some that, I've got to undo this. Whew. But I do have a few guilty pleasures, as everyone does. One is science fiction books. When I was young, I was a real geek. I'm not so much anymore. Now I'm what I like to call a recovering geek. I don't spend a lot of time reading sci-fi books or anything like that, but whenever life gets too stressful or I really needed an escape, I play a lot of video games. I read some sci-fi. Maybe I watch some sci-fi. Well, I'll watch sci-fi any time, provided it's like a classic like Star Wars or something. I'm not up on all the latest generation sci-fi stories on the screens or anything like that. But when it comes to sci-fi books, I like the hard science stuff more than just sci-fi fantasy. You know, I like there to be the scientific possibility of whatever they're talking about happening. You know, or guys who are just playing with scientific theories or something. Like I like Ringworld. You know, I like a lot of Greg Bear, David Brin. I'm into Heinlein for different reasons. I like his take of just, you know, alternate histories. For the same reason I like Guy Gavriel Kay. He's not sci-fi, he's more speculative historical fiction, I guess. It's not like Swords and Sorcery. It's more like, why make up a fantasy world when the best stories have already happened on our planet? So just, you know, change the map around a bit, change the country names, play with the same geopolitical stuff. He's a very good writer. Another one of my guilty pleasures is one I never thought I'd have, and it's driving. And I don't mean like getting into a car and feeling the manly oomph of the engine or anything. What I mean is, ever since I got a family, the car is the only place I can listen to the radio. For me, the radio has always spoken with the voice of true authority. I grew up listening to the CBC. I have zero patience for the enforced jollity that happens every morning on like Top 40 radio. But I like having the radio on. I hate having the TV on all day. I'm not one of these guys who wants the TV on in the background as he lives his life. I hate that. But I do like the, you know, I do like the soundscape that the radio creates. And the only place I really get that these days is when I'm driving somewhere. So even though I'm not a gearhead, I dislike the internal combustion engine greatly. I think a lot about carbon footprints and deforestation and stuff like that. I do like getting behind the wheel and just sort of, entering my own little world for however long it takes to get somewhere. And that's why it's a guilty pleasure, because let's face it, burning fossil fuels just so you can check out for a while is a terrible concept, which is why I'm not one of these guys who just goes for a drive. Oh yeah, another guilty pleasure that I just sort of hinted at is I do love my video games. I went to school to make movies. Okay, I have a communications degree with a specialization in film production. But what I've come to realize is that the new Hollywood is the video game industry. There are all kinds of increasingly famous voices ending up in video games. If you've got a good game, the price-performance ratio on a game that you've spent 100 hours at is way above even a brilliant Hollywood movie, or a Bollywood movie if that's your speed, or a Canadian film if you're artsy and, you know, cerebral. And I've come to realize that video games aren't just for geeky boys anymore. I know a lot of women, not programmers, not, you know, nerds, but just, you know, your everyday Jane, works in marketing or whatever else people work in these days, play the kinds of games that used to be sort of the purview of adolescent males. Look, older people are playing games than when I was 20, because the industry has matured with people like me, guys in their 40s who grew up, you know, with Baldur's Gate and the Super NES. And I mean, my first computer was a VIC-20, but that was 10 years later than everyone else had a VIC-20. I didn't really grow up moneyed, but it had a tape drive, and I had to program all the games. I feel that the video game industry grew up with me, and so it's like there's a historical connection there, I guess, for me. Anyways, I hope everyone had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. I don't technically give a crap about New Year's, never have, probably never will, but it's a useful way to mark your life, I guess. Whoa. Okay, take a look at this. That slush tells me that it's time to go the heck home, because I don't want to deal. Ugh, yuck. I don't want to deal with what can happen if the ice on top of a lake gets just a little bit too slushy. Oh, see that house behind me? It's a bloody monstrosity. It's brand new. All the houses along this lake sort of are of an age and of a style, and anyone who's done any work has sort of put in the effort to make it match the surroundings, except for this idiot. He's, I don't know, some race car driver, some big ego, thinks he's too good for the, you know, for the look of the neighborhood, I guess. Only cares about lakefront property. Wow, this is starting to melt. I guess that's kind of about all I have time for, because I'm gonna hurry my ass off this lake. Happy 2017, guys. I hope I live to speak to you again soon.